They keep surprising me.
Illustrations by me.
So Woomer has surprised me again. They've given me another set, but this time it's acrylic paint markers. Now, I was hesitant. I didn't know what kind they were going to send, but this thing comes in a little handy little case thing here. It works pretty well, and the pens are easy to get it out of. So once you flip it this way. Once you open this thing up, and then it flips open again. So you see that, right? It flips. So yeah, and you just pull whatever one you want out, and you put it right back in. Now, they do have the little thing. Can you hear that? Yeah, so they have the little thing in here, but the one thing that's wonderful, let me show you over here. So the thing that's really cool about these is that you can see in the feed, you see the paint in there. I don't know if it has to get all the way down to be on that tip. I have no idea. Let's find out. No, it's on the tip already. So it doesn't have to be. There's no pumps. You don't pump the tip. You don't pump the back, which I like. I like when it's just a pen that you just use. So I don't know how much ink is in there, but this is, you can also see through here. So you can see how much is in there. Can you see that? That's a wonderful thing too. You can keep an eye on the paint, and it goes down to about there. So I know, as with every other paint marker, you got to kind of leave them down. One thing that I really like, I didn't have to put my own mark on it. The number of the paint's on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and see how it works. I'll swatch out some stuff here. I'm going to do a time-lapse swatch over here. So I'm just going to swatch it out and just talk to you a little bit, and then I'm going to go right into a painting with it. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. I don't even know what I'm going to put it on yet. I don't know if I'm going to do paper or wood or rock. I don't know. But I'll do something. You'll see a whole thing about it. Now, the wonderful thing about this is our February giveaway. They said go ahead and give these away. So I'm going to give a set of these away. There's 36 colors in this pack here. I will let them know, hey, we'll do the whole giveaway thing on Friday. I'll pick the winner, but you won't see it until Saturday. Saturday the video goes up. You'll see who won the set, and so but you gotta let me know down below. This is a US only because it's the Woomer US service group or whatever. So we're going with the US only, but you have to tell me down below, yes, I'd like in on the giveaway, and then I put your name in the hat and I pick a winner on Saturday. You'll see that, and that'll be the person who gets the set. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this thing. Time-lapse swatching right into the whole drawing thing. That's how I'm going to try and do this. All right, let's start the swatching. Okay, now I don't like to beg, but I'm going to beg Woomer, please don't make the same mistake that Art X made when they first had markers like this, then they added a pump. The second generation of their paint markers, they added a pump in the back. Please do not do that. I don't like the pumps in the front or the pumps in the back. The pump in the front is a little different, like the Posca markers, because they seal a little bit better. But when you're pumping the back of it, you will always run the risk of just dropping a huge glob of paint on your work. And you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Well, I don't care usually, but I don't want to tell anybody to get these and then they pump it and the thing ruins their artwork. That would be just extremely frustrating for someone who does something like that. Me, I encourage the globs of paint. That's fine for me. But for you, for most people, they don't like the glob of ink. They just don't like that because you pump that thing and it starts to come out, and then you wipe it off, and then you start drawing, but it didn't really all come out yet. And then it starts to leak out a little bit and falls. It's just not for everybody, and I don't want you to do that because people will start to not like the markers. So please, Woomer, that's for you. Please do not do that. The other thing I want to say is please do not change the formula and make it worse. That's the other thing Artex did. So when they had the paint markers like this, they were great. They covered very well. They moved to the new formula with the pump. It didn't cover well at all. It was terrible. You had to go over it 100 times to cover everything. So I don't want to be too dramatic here. Let me not do it. It wasn't terrible for paper. it was terrible for the wood. So I use these on wood sometimes, and it used like some dark walnut wood, and I might do something on it, and it just did not work out. I told you I gave it to my wife so she'd do it. She did the laser engraving with the wood stuff on it, and I usually do the painting part for her if I can. And she looked at it and she was using it and I was using it, and I was like, oh, this is not the best thing in the world. So please don't do that. There's that little glob of paint that you see on there on the end of that pen. You saw it for a second, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. I wiped it off. It was good. So there are a few things I noticed, starting with the swatching, and I just wanted to point them out. So you might have seen on the lower part, on the bottom of the card there, that neutral gray, that second to the last color that I put down. There was some paint that was dried inside the cap, so it must have leaked out a little bit. It's fine. It peeled right off. Didn't affect the usage of the marker itself. It happens sometimes. Paint markers leak sometimes. That's just how it is. I didn't see... I took the paper towel, went around the whole outside. I didn't see any more ink coming off of it, so I don't know where that's from. Maybe it was shipped on a plane or something, and the pressure kind of pushed it out. You have no idea what actually happens. But I'll have to keep an eye on that and make sure when I lay it down, it doesn't leak everywhere. But that's fine. Sometimes it happens. We'll go through it. Let me show you something else. So the first thing I want to show is the white didn't cover very well. It kind of lifted that fine liner and kind of just blended it into itself. I don't know if that's a reaction between the paint and the fine liner. How that goes, I'm not really sure. I have to keep an eye on that. I'll keep testing that. This came out light, which is fine. It's just very light. It's like but if you had this on toned paper, you'd see that right away. So the yellows, let's talk about that. I love that the yellow section is perfect. You have a pale color, you have a lemon yellow, you have a warm yellow, and then you have an earth yellow. Perfect. That's what I like to see. You have, I guess, kind of like a peachish, like two peach colors here. One's more orange, one's more reddish, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Then, going to the reds, I think that's fine. I really like that color and this color. These two colors here, that's more like a warm red. I'm not a fan of that. It's just me personally. All I'm doing now is talking about my personal feelings about the colors. So don't worry about that. But these two colors are great. I really like that color. There's no pigment information here. So I have no idea what to tell you. There's no light fast, anything like that. I don't know. But we're just going on. These are paint markers. So there's too many pinks, in my opinion. If it was my set, wouldn't have too many. But if you're a floral artist, you're going to love these pinks. 1, 2, and 3. They're good. And then a lighter peachish, not peach. That's like I don't know what that is, but it's a pink. It's a light pink, which is fine. You have a light pink, usually a darker pink, but there's a lot of pinks. All right, now you're moving into some earthier colors here. Now this is a very unique color. I really like it. I don't know what you'd call that, but that's a nice color. I do like that. The earth colors are nice. You have like a yellow ochre color, and it's different than this one. So I would use these two differently, almost like a Nicolazzo yellow versus a, I don't know, like a yellow ochre. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, nice color. I would use it. Then you get a little bit darker and then a little bit darker. The browns are not too dark. I would have liked a really dark brown, but that's okay. You can make your own. You can blend colors, but I would wish that was just a little bit darker. But I will use that color. It's a nice color. The greens, of course, I'm very fickle with my greens. This is my favorite green color. I'll use this one. I'm not into like the spring green and mint green. That's not for me. But they're in the set. If you use it, that's fine. So that'll be the one that I use here. I'll use this color probably somewhere. But the blues are absolutely beautiful. All of the blues in this set, I will use every last one of them. They're wonderful. 2 purples, a light and a dark. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Especially, again, for you floral artists, that's wonderful. The gold is not too gold. It's usually when you think of like a gold marker, you think of it being a little bit reflective, a little mica in there or something like that. But it's a gold color. That's fine. And then you get to the neutral grays. The neutral grays I wouldn't even call neutral grays. This one here and this one here, they're more like warm grays. And then these two are more like cool grays. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's a wide range of grays. This is a little bit greenish, I think. But anyway, it's a wide range of grays, and they're fine. And then of course you have a black marker, so that's great. Let me point out something else to you. When you use this extra flip out area here, you can push from the back to pop the pens up, which is nice to have. You don't have that on the other ones because it's the outside cover. However, I first thought, I'm like, wow, it stinks. I gotta pull this one up to get to this one because you can't get your fingers in there. But that's not what you do. You just push on the end here and it pops up and you pull it out. So you can do that anywhere in here. You just push on the end and you pull it out. It's fine. So at first I thought, wow, I can't get to them. I'm gonna have to loosen them all to do the painting and have them all popped up. You don't have to. You just pop it up as you go. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The other thing, while we're looking at this, there's nubs on here, which means it's not going to roll off the table. You're not going to get it to roll off. That's wonderful. So as long as you keep the cap on, if you're one of those people that does that, it's going to roll on you. Don't do that. Leave the cap. You want the cap on anyway. Make sure it snaps so it doesn't dry out the marker. Although there are air holes in the top, which is, maybe it doesn't go through to the, I don't know, does it? Yeah, I think it does go through a little bit. But anyway, there are air holes in here. And of course you want to leave them laying down. But it's not going to roll off your desk. That's wonderful. They thought of that. That's a great thing. Some people do not think of it. I'm talking to you, Pasca. Oh, they did do it. Now, these have a nub and they still roll. Do you see that? That rolls. So it can roll right off your desk if it's leaning. But these won't. They just don't. I can't get it to roll when it's on the nub. It's just much more pronounced. It'll stop it from rolling off the desk. That's wonderful. Okay, so I've ranted about those things. Let's go to the painting. Okay, so once again, being absent-minded like I am, I didn't do the second camera angle, but I'm going to do this instead. The little picture-in-picture, you can see me talking to you. So that's different, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, so the first thing is, I'm looking at this now while I'm doing it. You're seeing me do it. I have it here. The pens were great. They were very, I don't know how to say it. They were not dry at all. It was a very wet kind of paint on that pen. It went on the page very easily. The paper is the back cover of this book. I still have one page to do in here, but instead, instead I did the back cover only for this one. I wanted to do something smaller and just do it on a section of the page. And I did a little character. You'll see it being drawn here. It was definitely not what I intended to do. I actually started to do something where I filled up the whole section. And then as I started putting a little bit more in, I'm like, no, let me just keep it isolated to this like corner, to the other corner, just kind of flowing down from the edge. Kind of like the end of the book, and it's coming into the end of the book. And I did this little character thing. And I thought it came out great. I enjoyed it. I absolutely did. And it was very easy to use these pens. So one of the things that I enjoyed about it was that I did not have to squeeze anything. There was no pumping. I already mentioned that. And instead, let me get one of these out here. Well, that just flipped on the floor. Instead, it just worked. And you can see that the paint's kind of like flowing down into it a little bit. But it just worked. Nothing leaked out. There was no puddles of paint coming out because it's foam. The only thing that I could see being a problem down the road maybe is, although these are thicker foam nibs if you look at them. That's not bad at all. Some of the pro markers and things like that, some of those alcohol markers and things, the very tip almost gets like floppy. So it'll start to come to a tip, and then the very tip will start to flip over because you've used it a lot. I didn't see that much. It was a soft tip. It did bend when I drew with it, but it went right back to its original shape. It's not like it got floppy or flippy or anything. Sometimes that happens, I know that. But it didn't. This was wonderful. I absolutely enjoyed it. I think it's a great thing. You can see how opaque it was because you'll see as I put in little sections, I go over with another color and try and go next to it. And sometimes I go right over the other color to make it butt right up against it. And it covers it instantly. It's a one-shot thing. You don't have to sit there and try and cover it, let it dry, try and cover it, let it... It's not like that. It's an acrylic paint marker. So it works just like it's supposed to. Now this was bittersweet for me because it was the last page at the back of the book. I have one more page left to do, like I said. But I did not buy another one of these Hahnemuhle watercolor books. This is the 100% cotton watercolor book. I did not buy another one. I did put the bird going to the kind of edge, and I put the border. Now let me tell you why I think I like putting the border around the edge. In this case, I was covering up the bottom there. I have some information I didn't want to paint over, and I didn't know if I was going to fill in the whole area, so I didn't want to cover that. And then I would have wanted it to be a little evener all the way around. But someone had mentioned that they don't like to do that. They like to go from edge to edge. I think, in my opinion, what I like to do is I like to include elements in do the little picture frame thing with the tape, and then go outside of the tape with just a couple little things. I didn't do that in this one. I just did around the edge, just like it was. But that's okay. I'm fine with that. You can have a little fun. Sometimes when the water goes underneath that washi tape, because the washi tape isn't so tacky. It's usually not at all. At least the ones that I got, sometimes it's falling off the page as I'm painting. I gotta like push it back down. Sometimes that happens. I don't know if that happens to you. It happens to me, and then I have to go, and then I kind of where it goes outside of the line, I try and outline it a little bit, just go around that line so that it looks like it's purposefully done when I do the ink line around the edge. And that's fine too. I like doing that. It's fine. I don't have a problem doing that. But usually when I peel that off and I go around the edge, sometimes I do it with the tape on, but I like to take the tape off and then draw around the edge. So if it's a little imperfect, I can go with it and just kind of make it look like it was supposed to do that, even though nothing I do is actually supposed to do that. Now, someone did ask me if I will be, matter of fact, many people have asked me if I will be selling my art as prints somewhere. Here's what happened. I used to do that with the Fine Art America, and people had bought them, and I heard several people complain, but the last one that complained, the last person said that first of all, they folded it. It was a print being sold from Fine Art America. They know how to handle artwork. They folded the artwork. Oh, I don't know why you would do that. You never do that. You roll it maybe, but you don't fold the artwork. So they folded it and sent it to them, and then on top of that, the colors weren't right, and it was, I don't know, it didn't fill the page, like it wasn't the way it's supposed to be, the way that I set it up to be. So I removed everything off Fine Art America. I know that there's some other ones like Society 6 and things like that. I don't know a good one. I know I've asked this before, and I probably didn't listen to you when you told me, but please, if you know a place that's good for selling prints, I would like to offer that. Or maybe you just want me to offer you the digital art, and someone said, yeah, if you want to sell, this is during the Kuretake watercolor, the granulating watercolor, someone said, yeah, I'd buy this piece if you either did a digital or you did, sell it on Fine Art America or whatever, get a print or not on Fine Art America. That's not what they said. They said sell a print, or if I was going to sell a digital, they would buy it either way. But what about you? Would you like to have my stuff available as a digital thing? Is it something that would be interesting just to download the file? You can get it printed wherever you want. It costs a little less to get the art from me because you have to print it yourself. I don't want to do something where I'm getting, 100 copies of something in and storing them somewhere, and they'll go bad before I ever sell 100 of anything. So I just figured, okay, maybe there's a good printer that'll do this, but understand it'll be a print. It's something, if you send it away to Staples, or you send it to Vistaprint, or you send it to any of those print-on-demand services, and most likely they're going to send it to you, and it will not be Lightfast, printed on like Lightfast paper or whatever, the inks they use. I don't know if they're Lightfast. So I thought Fine Art America was supposed to do that, use light fast ink, so that's why I originally went with them. But if they're going to trash the artwork, what's the point in doing that? That's dumb. So I'm definitely not going to do that. I just don't know where else to go. So please give me some suggestions. If you know you've bought some artwork from someone else that's a print, or if you would rather get it digitally, just let me know, because I can do any of those things. I just don't know where to do them. So I would like to do that. I'd love for people to have my work for just, a few dollars compared to buying an original or something like that. So that'd be wonderful. I would appreciate that if you would let me know where you go for that. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you. So I want to mention this. Someone finally said, hey, we would like to sponsor a video for you. And the money they would have paid me would have probably been more than what I would earn in a month from the YouTube AdSense thing. And I was excited a little bit. I said, oh, that's great. I would love to do a video that was sponsored, so long as I could. It doesn't matter to me if it's sponsored and I don't like it and I can say it. Just don't tell me what to say, kind of thing. But it was a company. I don't think it's a good fit. It is art related, but I don't think it's a good fit for any of you. And you are my audience before you're their audience. You're my audience first. I'm very, I don't know what that is. Selfish, I guess is the word. I'm very selfish with my audience. That's how that goes. So I didn't think it was something to put out. But anyway, it was an animation kind of application that you would purchase and put on your computer, and then you could animate things, and it's supposed to be like a full suite where you can do storyboards and all that stuff. But I think it only applies to digital art. Now, if this guy that I'm painting in the drawing here today, if at the end of the video I could just take that drawing, do the whole drawing, and then make that thing lift its head up off of the page and then put it back down, like wink at you or something, put it back down, I would do that, and I would say, hey, look, this is a cool program that does this thing. I don't think it does that. I think you have to create the art digitally and do it a certain way for it to animate. So I didn't want to do that. I said, nah, this is not, they only asked for like a 5-minute video, but I don't think it fits for you, so I'm not doing that. But I was excited. I got offered, hey, finally a sponsorship video. We're going to pay you some money, and if you make a video. I thought that was a pretty interesting thing, that now I'm at that point where people may consider doing that. It's a first one, so it may not happen again. We'll see. But anyway, I thought that was interesting and fun. And tell me, is that something I should have not passed on? I mean, I didn't technically pass on it. I didn't answer them, so I didn't technically pass on anything. So, but anyway, is that something that would be... I don't think that's relevant for anyone. Almost everyone on here has told me that you don't do the digital art thing. There's a few of you who do. There's a few of you who do, and very good. And I've seen your work, and it's very good. But most of you don't do that. Most of you do traditional work on a page. Now, if you could do the traditional work on the page, scan it into your computer or take a picture and put it on your computer and then animate that without doing any extra digital art stuff, then I would be all over that, and I'd be telling you all about that, because I think that's a great idea. I think if you can do that with something, like I said, this one here, at the end of the drawing, just make it lift its head up off and wink at you or something. I think that would be a great idea. I think it would be wonderful, and I would definitely do that. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more like drawing the scenes in between, and then it kind of does. It's like this AI. Everything's AI. It's not AI. It's a program that does something. It's not artificial intelligence that does it. It's just a program that does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's not thinking for itself. So it fills in the gaps in between the frames to make it look like it's moving. I think that's what it does. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how that works, and I just didn't think it would fit you, so I didn't do that. But if something comes along that does fit you, I may do that in the future. Soon, hopefully. I would like that. I would love for someone to sponsor a video finally and get some of that going on so that we can up some more games. Maybe I'll do this and the two different views. You don't know what I can do. I can do a lot of things. So if given enough time, and if someone else does it for me, and I'll just take all the credit. So that's okay. Don't worry about that. The point is, I think that it was an interesting thing, and it just brought to my mind the different things you can do with your art if all you do was just do your art just like you do it, and then you can just make a little animation with it without doing a whole lot of extra stuff. The program would do that for you. I think that would be an interesting idea. I'd go for that. So don't forget, if you are in the U.S., did you hear that? I'm not taking that out and putting it at the end. It's going right in here. I'm keeping it in here. If you are in the U.S. and you would like these markers, please let me know so that I can let Woomer know, and then they will say, hey, this is a great idea. We're going to send this to someone, whoever you pick, and then I'm going to pick this on Friday. Don't worry. I'm going to pick one of your names on Friday. You'll see the video on Saturday, and then I'll send them your information, and then they'll say, okay, this is who gets the markers. And I don't think I'm going to put giveaway in the title anymore for the videos, because only certain people actually click on it, and only the people that want the thing that they see the product for, they are the only ones that click. And I don't think that I wanted to, because it just takes, sometimes you may want to see a video just because it's the drawing or the painting or whatever, but if it's a giveaway thing, it's a little weird. So I'm not going to put that in the title probably anymore, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. You're all awesome. That is an amazing thing. I can't believe that I am over 5,000 subscribers. Never thought I'd make it to 1,000. So hitting 5 was amazing. I am so grateful for that. And hopefully in the next year we go, I don't know, 7,000, maybe 10,000. That would be amazing. I don't think I'd double it in a year, but we're going to try something. Maybe try for 7,000 or 8,000 or something in the next year. And I hope that you're enjoying the content. I hope you continue to come back here. Here's the thing. I'm doing everything that I can. When I make a video, and I was just talking to someone about this, when I make a video, I really make the video for my core audience. The most important thing to me is that the people who are investing their time in this channel enjoy themselves. I want you to enjoy yourself. So I'm making content based on what I think you enjoy from what you've told me you've enjoyed. And then new people come in and they say they might enjoy something and subscribe for that reason. And the good news is I will continue to make something that goes along with that where they subscribed in the first place. So hopefully that happens. I still want to do some of those Twisted Sense tales, which I am still doing. I have one that I just was working on. I did the drawing, have it ready, and I edited it all up. I just have to do the actual story. So that's coming up soon. It won't get any views, but it's coming, and that's the podcast. It's separate. It says a podcast, but it's still going to be a Monday video because I don't only have so much time to do stuff. And the live stream, I just set up the software to do that, so I will be getting together a live stream. I'll post it. It'll just say like live stream dry run or live stream test or something like that, but I'll do it with enough time so that you can say, yeah, I want to see it. And I might not do anything on there. I'm telling you now, I might just do talk to you and just see if it starts working, see if I can flip the cameras, because I bought a little box to flip the cameras, and hopefully I can talk to you here and do the top down and just flip between them. The software itself only allows me to use one camera at a time unless I invest like a ridiculous amount of money to hook up 2 cameras to it through 2 different ports. I'm not going to do that right now. If it takes off and people like it, love the live streams, then we'll do it then. But for now, I'm just looking at... So I'm working on a lot of things. Hopefully they'll actually happen. Sometimes I work on stuff and I say, hey, I'm working on this, and it never happens. I hate that. I don't want that to happen, but I'm working on a lot of things, and as long as I can get it to work, I will do it. If I can't get it to work, I'll let you know. But I think I can get it to work, and I'll do it. The other thing is getting outside. It has been raining like probably 99 out of the first 30 days of the year. So it's just terrible. I do not like it. I will try and get outside and do something. I still want to do that for you, and I enjoy that myself. I enjoy being outside and showing you how I create from nature, what I like to look at, what I look for, and how I do that. Even if it's just in the backyard, I just got to show you something. That's something I want to do. And lastly, I do want to say that doing a little sponsored video thing is interesting. It's going to be difficult for me because I'm not jumping through the monkey hoops. I'm not doing that. I'm not. You are a human being on the other end watching this, and I am not a robot just repeating the same nonsense that the other guy down the road, or in the other video in this case, decided they were going to say and do. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk to you like you're a human being, because you are. And I'm going to tell you if I like something and if I don't like something. And if people don't want to pay me for it, well, then that's just fine too. I just want to make sure that the videos are fun and honest, and that's the whole point of it. So, but if I can find that sponsored video position, that little thing, I want to do that. I want to do something with it. Did I say a position? I don't think a sponsored video is a position. It's like it's a thing. It's a project. Maybe it's a project, and my lips just don't know how to say those words. It's okay. Don't worry. We're going to go forward as best as we can with whatever we can, but the good thing is, no matter what, we're still going to go forward, because I enjoy all of you, and I enjoy all of these people popping up on the screen right here. You see how I did that? That was a good segue right there. I didn't even have to think about that one. Anyway, thumb up the video. I'm stuttering now. Thumb up the video if you are going to check out these markers, or you just like paint markers in general. And I would also like to do... I've got these little rocks, these little, well, let me get them a little closer because I'm a tiny little thing on the screen. See these little flat rocks here? You could get like a bag of them for like $2, and it'd have like 20 pounds of rocks. You go down to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you go to get your rocks or whatever, and they've got these little flat rocks. Now they're fragile. If you like hit them on something, they will break. They're that fragile. So I actually went to grab the bag and smacked it, and some of them were broken. So I don't know why they're rocks. They shouldn't be that fragile. That's why they say it hit me like a rock, because that's supposed to be heavy and not break. And these aren't breaking by trying to break them, but you hit something and they could snap if they break against each other. So anyway, you get some of those, you use the paint markers on it. It's a wonderful thing. All right. Oh, I think my dog is scratching at the door. Hold on a second. Just relax. I'll be right back. That is my dog. She's waiting for a treat. Would you like to see her? I can show her to you. Hold on here. Let me flip this around. And there she is. She's just relaxing. That's her bed. It's right next to the desk. She sleeps on there. And there she is. And she's wondering why I'm just staring at her, not giving her a cookie. Because that's why she's here. That's why she was scratching at the door. Okay, so I'm going to give her a cookie now. I know. I can hear you. Everybody can hear you. Alright. So now I can get into this whole thing. I couldn't do that before because I was busy with the dog, but that's okay. Let's get into this whole thing. And then you have, oh crap. I never started recording that, did I? Let's start that again. Then you want to go ahead and look at this here. I didn't start the beginning. Son of a... Let's try this again. So there are a few things I noticed. If you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.